Hello and welcome to your next tutorial in JavaScript, and today we're going to be discussing DHTML. Now you might be wondering, well, what's DHTML? What kind of language is it? Well, actually it's not a language. It's not a programming language, nor is it a markup language. What it is basically the fact that you're using different languages such as JavaScript, Ajax, with XHTML or HTML and CSS. And all of it pretty much builds an interactive website. And the process of doing that, or the fact that you're doing that, is just called DHTML, which stands for Dynamic HyperText Markup Language. So, at this point, if you have not watched my CSS video series, you should, because we're going to be doing nothing but CSS in this video. Okay, so, different parts of DHTML. We've actually done we've done two already. In my CSS video series, and even near the end of my XHTML series, we showed different forms of combining different languages. For an example, we created style sheets to add style, to our XHTML tags, and that's combining CSS with XHTML. We've also combined XHTML with JavaScript, and this is how we did it. We would do something like document.write, and let's actually create a simple variable first. So I'll call it var x is equal to 4, and within this we could do something. I usually used break tags in my examples, and as you might have remembered, anytime you use HTML tags in your script tags, you have to make sure that they're within quotes. So let's make it bold. Nobody really uses these. You shouldn't really be using these type of tags, but I'm just trying to make a simple example. So when I save, and then I refresh my browser, there we go. There's number 4, but it's bold. So that worked. That's pretty cool. And yeah, that's how you can combine HTML or XHTML with JavaScript. So that's now two things that we already knew, but hey, that's pretty cool. So I'll just get rid of all this right here. So, how do you combine CSS with JavaScript? Well, first, we're going to have to create some style sheets. So, again, if you haven't watched any of my videos on how to do this, then you should. But only for this video. The next two videos, I don't believe, my next few videos in JavaScript shouldn't require any knowledge in CSS. Just this one, but it's for awesome's sake. Okay, so as you might have remembered, if you know your styles, this is an embedded, or in other words, an internal style sheet. So because it's within this text document. So maybe we want one of these to contain whatever we want the default style for our website to be, and we want another one to be whatever we resort to if we click, for an example, a button, and we'd like the styles on our website to change. So you might have remembered precedents. External style sheets come last because they're read first. So the second thing that's read are internal style sheets, so they're next in precedence. So whatever changes are made in them are then applied. Then any inline styles inside the tags are the last to take into effect. So inline styles have the highest precedence. They'll be always what takes place. So since it's reading each of your style tags that you create in order, whatever the last one you make is whatever will be taken in effect among all of them. So you want your default style for your website, whatever you want it to normally look like, to be within the last one, not this first one, because it will be overwritten. So let's actually create some paragraph tags here, shall we? So I'll have it say, "Ugh! The world ends this year." And yeah, I'm so enthusiastic right now. And I'll create another paragraph that says, "Did you pack your things?" And for future's sake, I'll give them some IDs. So P_1 and what should I call this one? Obviously P_2. So they have their own IDs, and we'll be using them in a moment. Okay. So whatever we want the default to be, let's just change the color. of the paragraph. So let's make them blue. So if I refresh the page, there's our text and it's all blue, as you can see. So let's make the next one, instead of internal, let's actually make it external. And in order to link an external page, in the past, what I showed you were link tags. I'll actually show you how to do it within a style sheet, and you actually need to do it this way in order to use JavaScript. You can't use a link tag, and you'll know why later. So you'll use the @ symbol followed by import followed by URL, and then within your quotes, which are within the parentheses, you type in the URL of your file. So I'll probably want to open a new file, and where is it? Default? Is that it? There it is. Yeah, default.css. So basically just create a new file and save it with the extension .css. And let's apply a simple change. So maybe I want the color to change to green, for an example. So in order to do this, I have to type in the URL. Since this is in the same folder, I can just type in default.css. So let's create a button so that when we click it, it'll, well, do what we want. So I'll actually make the button below this text. The type will be button. The value will say change color text, or change text color, excuse me. I'm not Yoda here, speaking backwards. And what else do we have here? An event handler on click, and that will be the name of the function. So we don't know the name of the function yet. We're gonna have to create it. So we'll call it change color. And well, let's figure out how to do this. So we're actually, even though this is the first video I'm showing you outside of the object mini series that we've been doing for a while, we're still going to be working with objects a little bit, and forever on, really. So we're going to be working more with the style object, which is actually part of the document object. So what you do is you type in document dot, and then just like with the images, the forms, the anchors, and the links, for each style you create, it will tack on one element to your style object called style sheets. And again, always plural. Follow your brackets. So the first one will actually be number 0, index 0, and the second one will be index 1. So in order to disable the current one, the blue, that's the second one, so it's 1, you type in dot disabled and set that equal to true. Then you type in the same thing again, document dot style sheets. The first one, so 0 is going to be the first one, which is this file right here. Dot disabled equals false. So then it'll enable it. So you click save, and do I have everything saved? I think I do. I press F5, and when I click this, well, I must not have saved this. Oh, I didn't. In my on-click event handler, you gotta type in the name of your function. So change color, click save. Then when I refresh the page and click it, there you go. Look at that. The text just turned green when we click this. So that is really, really cool. And when I refresh the page, it's back to blue. Now, what if you want to change like the different kind of styles individually for individual tags? Well, what you're going to have to do is actually just a little bit different. We're going to have to use, well, I'm not quite sure what you call it, but it's just a rule basically. What you have to do is create a variable, and you have to type it out in this format. Or you have to use this format structure. Variable, and this variable will catch the ID of whatever specific tag you want to modify, which we've done before with the get element by ID. So once we create that variable, then you'll type in variable dot, or the name of the variable actually, dot style, then the property you'd like to change, and then the value that you would like to give it. So let's create a simple variable called, I don't know, let's just call it A. And I'll set that equal to document dot, let's see here, Ah, get. I have to figure out what did I name them. What did I name them? Let's change the second one. The did you pack your things? So that would be p_2 because that's the ID I gave it. So now I created this variable. Then what I can do is create another variable, or excuse me, type out this right here. You're going to want to type this out if you want to make the changes. So I'm going to type the variable a dot. I'm sorry, it's late. I'm already really tired. That's why I'm messing up with my words. So a dot, then the style dot, and then whatever property you wish to change. And it pretty much has everything same as CSS. So let's try font style. Notice how there's no hyphen in between. The way you type it in JavaScript is a little bit different. And let's make it italic. I believe this should work. So when I refresh the page and I click this, notice how only this one became italicized when it changed color and this one didn't, because we only affected this tag. And remember, you can create another button to do just this if you wish. You can also create back buttons, to undo whatever you did. It might take a little time, but yeah, that's pretty much what you can do. And I can just copy all of this, and I can do multiple things. I can do font weight and make the text bold, for an example. So now both should take place. See, now it's bold and italicized. And there's really a whole bunch of different things that you can do. You can do font family. I'm just, and this is pretty much it for the tutorial. So if you want to stop, you can stop, because I'm just going to pretty much show off just a bunch of different things here. So change the font family to like monospace, for an example. So the default, I believe, is Arial, and there's monospace right there, italicized. I've actually never seen italicized monospace before. And you can change like the color. We've already done color, so I won't show that. You can do, for images, you can do background attachment. Remember, the second word is always capitalized. So background attachment, and you can choose fixed or scroll, whether it scrolls with a page. You can do, like background repeat, have it say none, or repeat -x, repeat -y in here for the value. You can do background image equals, so you can actually change the image when you click a button that's appearing. So you can do background image is equal to the URL, and change if there's an image, or if there isn't an image, you can make it so. What else is there? There's line height, which will change how many pixels. You can type in how many pixels you want to have appear, how much space between each line of text. I can't really show you because I don't have multiple lines. I'm only affecting this one, but that's what line height does. You pretty much know what this stuff does. There's letter spacing. I believe I can do this one right now. So I can change how many pixels of space. Let's see if this one works. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there you go. There's your way too many pixels. Let's make it 5 pixels. See how that looks. There you go. Now there's 5 pixels in between each letter, so that's letter spacing. Text indent. I believe that's what it is. And you can choose how many pixels the paragraph tag will indent by. So there's your 50 pixels. And there's just a whole bunch. You can do, if you're working with whatever, you can do background color. You can work with padding. You can do padding on a specific side. You can do margins on a specific side, how much space you want. You can do border. Let's try borders. I wonder if borders will work with regular text. And this will probably be the last thing I show you. So 5 pixels, a dot, whoops, dot, border style. Let's make it dotted. I'm not sure if this will work. Let's try it. Wow, it actually works. And we're running out of time for this tutorial, and I really hope that this was helpful for you. And there's a bunch of, you can do if statements to make sure it's specific when it does these kind of events, and just whatever you want to do. So I'll see you in the next tutorial.